In the heart of the South American continent, among the towering Andes Mountains, rose one of history's most remarkable civilizations. The Inca Empire, known as Tawantinsuyu, meaning, the Four Regions, was the largest empire ever seen in the Americas before the arrival of Europeans. From the shores of Lake Titicaca to the desert coasts of the Pacific, the Incas ruled a realm that stretched over 2,500 miles, encompassing modern-day Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, parts of Chile, and Argentina. But while their engineering marvels, such as the citadel of Machu Picchu, are still celebrated today, there existed another side to their empire, one of powerful gods, deep spiritual beliefs, and mysterious rituals. At the center of the Inca world was religion, a system of worship that was inseparable from their everyday lives. The Incas did not just believe in their gods, they saw the gods in everything around them. Every mountain, river, and star had a spirit, and the Incas believed these spirits influenced the fate of the empire. Their supreme deity was Inti, the sun god, the giver of life and warmth. Inti was the center of Inca religion, and the Sapa Inca, their emperor, was believed to be his direct descendant. This divine connection between ruler and god cemented the emperor's power, both spiritually and politically. To rule, for the Inca, was to carry the will of the sun. At the heart of the Inca capital, Cusco, stood the Qorikancha, the temple of the sun. Its walls, once covered in gold, shimmered in the daylight, a testament to the importance of the sun god. Here, priests would offer prayers and sacrifices to ensure that the empire continued to thrive. But Inti was not the only god in the Inca pantheon. Viracocha, the creator god, was believed to have formed the world and all the beings in it. He was revered as the one who brought order from chaos. Alongside him was Pachamama, the earth mother, who nurtured the crops and provided the bounty necessary for life. The balance between these deities was crucial, for the Inca believed that the world could easily fall into disorder if their gods were not properly appeased. The Inca worshipped these gods through elaborate festivals and ceremonies. Throughout the year, they held celebrations such as Inti Raymi, the festival of the sun, to honor their deities and ask for blessings. Thousands would gather in the heart of Cusco for this grand event, where the high priest would offer sacrifices to Inti, hoping to ensure a good harvest and the prosperity of the empire. But there was another form of offering, one that carried a far greater weight, the ultimate sacrifice of life itself. The practice of human sacrifice, known as Capacocha, was a rare and sacred ritual, performed only during the most critical times in the empire. These sacrifices were meant to communicate directly with the gods, to appease them during natural disasters, severe droughts, or the death of an emperor. Unlike other cultures that engaged in frequent human sacrifices, the Inca reserved these rituals for the most significant events. Their sacrificial victims were not seen as mere offerings, but as messengers, chosen to carry the prayers and desires of the people directly to the gods. The chosen ones for these sacrifices were often children, selected for their purity and innocence. These children came from noble families, a great honor bestowed upon them and their kin. The Inca believed that only those untouched by sin could adequately serve as intermediaries between the human world and the divine. Once chosen, the children embarked on a sacred journey. Accompanied by priests, they would be taken to the highest peaks in the Andes, places where the Inca believed they could be closer to the gods. These mountains were not just natural formations to the Inca, they were sacred beings known as apis, spirits that guarded their people and their lands. The journey to these sacred sites was arduous, as the Incas climbed mountains that soared over 20,000 feet above sea level. The children were dressed in the finest garments, adorned with gold and silver jewelry, and given special ceremonial items to take with them into the afterlife. They were honored, for their sacrifice was seen as necessary to maintain cosmic balance. Atop these mountains, the final ritual would begin. The children, now seen as divine offerings, were given chicha, a fermented corn drink, to calm them and ease their passage to the next world. Once they fell into a deep sleep, the priests performed the sacrifice, ensuring that the child would be preserved for eternity, a guardian between the earth and the heavens. Thanks to the freezing temperatures and thin air of the Andes, many of these sacrificial victims have been remarkably preserved, giving us an unprecedented glimpse into this ancient practice. The most famous discovery was made in 1999, high atop Mount Uyayaka, where archaeologists uncovered the bodies of 3 children. Among them was the Maiden of Uyayaka, a 15-year-old girl, her body frozen in time for over 500 years. She sat cross-legged, perfectly preserved, her face serene as if she were merely asleep. Buried with her were silver statues, finely woven textiles, and other objects meant to accompany her into the next world. The discovery of these mummies revealed the extraordinary lengths the Inca went to in order to honor their gods. These children were treated with reverence, their bodies and the objects around them carefully arranged to ensure they would serve their role in the afterlife. The sacrifices were not acts of cruelty but of devotion. The Incas believed that through the offering of human life, they could ensure the prosperity of their people, appease the gods, and maintain the balance of nature. Today, the legacy of the Inca is still felt throughout the Andes. Their cities, temples, and terraces continue to awe visitors from around the world. And though the practice of human sacrifice may seem unimaginable to us today, for the Inca, it was a sacred act, a way to ensure that life would continue in balance with the forces of nature and the will of the gods. In 1532, the Spanish, led by Francisco Pizarro, arrived in Inca lands. What followed was a devastating conquest that shattered the Inca Empire. Disease, warfare, and betrayal all contributed to the fall of Tawantinsuyu. The last Inca ruler, Atahualpa, was captured and executed, marking the end of their reign. But even as their empire crumbled, the Inca legacy endured, passed down through stories, ruins, and, remarkably, through the very mountains that had witnessed the rise and fall of one of history's greatest civilizations. Today, the legacy of the Inca is still felt throughout the Andes. Their cities, temples, and terraces continue to awe visitors from around the world. And though the practice of human sacrifice may seem unimaginable to us today, for the Inca, it was a sacred act, a way to ensure that life would continue in balance with the forces of nature and the will of the gods.